Providence. Yesterday morning the residents of Kettle Point were startled upon looking out of their windows, upon the gleaming expanse of ice, over the upper bay to see a ghostly form, on the rocky islet which supports the foundations of the Tower of Fuller's Rock Light. At first the apparition was supposed to be a woman, being clad in a long, clinging garment, with white folds flapping in the freezing wind which blew down the harbor. Its head was covered with what seemed to be a white nightcap. The figure stood upon the north end of the snow-covered isle for a short time and then, climbing over a rampart of rough boulders, lay down on the icy crust behind the rocks, only its white-capped head being visible. It was quickly the opinion of the Kettle Pointers that an escaped lunatic was at large off their waterfront. The leading citizens were called out of the warm beds and a council was held. Mayor George Horton was of the opinion that the East Providence police should be called. Captain Joe Sweet said it would be a good idea to telephone to Howard to learn what Lady Lunatic had got away during the night. Captain Jake Brown favored taking a long shot at the figure with a small caliber rifle to see if it was real flesh and blood. Captain Sterry Windsor, going the rounds with the morning milk, said he was so cold that he felt quite superstitious and was sure that it was a female ghost. He advised all the captains present to knock on wood and think of eternity. Captain Edward Grogan had no ideas to advance as to what it was, but, being in charge of the lighthouse on the rock during the present inability of Captain Jack Mullen, and, it being time to make the trip to the beacon, said he would go and see. Quarantine Sentinel Adamson advised him to keep away from what might prove bad company, but the Venture Sayome lighthouse keeper was bent on performing his work and satisfying his curiosity. Saying his prayers, he pushed out from the shore on the ice, pushing his small boat ahead, as the surface was treacherous and full of soft spots. When within hailing distance, he was surprised and relieved to hear the ghost sing cut, in manly, deep, bass tones, "Is it cold enough for you this morning?" Still wondering and nervous, Captain Grogan kept on toward the voice with his boat hook ready to give the critter a lick over the head if necessary. The figure rose to greet him, and it proved to be a man from down Silver Spring way who had come to the rock over the ice for the purpose of shooting ducks in the open water around the north end of the island. He had borrowed one of his wife's nightgowns, in order to jibe as well as possible with the color of the snow, and had covered his cap with a white handkerchief. Thus attired, he was lying in wait for the whizzing broad bills, and the reverberations of his gun later woke the echoes of the point, while Mayor Horton, Captain Sweet, Captain Brown and Captain Windsor got together again after the explanation of the mystery and said, "Well, what do you think of that?"